Continuation of for loop. So last time we discussed the for loop flowchart. So if you cannot remember or know the flow of the flowchart of for loop, so we have here the for loop with arrow reference. Okay, so in our for loop statement, so we have the initialization, the condition, the updation or the increment, decrement. So we have here the loop body and close with curly bracket. So for first, so we have here the initialization, okay, followed by the condition for number 2. So take note that our condition is answerable by a true or false. So if your condition is true, so you have to execute your body of loop from open curly bracket up to close curly bracket. So when you encounter the close curly bracket, so you have to go back to the for loop statement, which is the updation or the increment decrement. Okay, so after that, so you have to check again the condition. So if the condition is again true, so you have to execute again the loop. But if your condition is false, so you have to jump to the end of the for loop. Okay, so you have to execute outside the statements outside the loop. So we have here sample program, which is an easy program, so we can answer by simply simulation inside our brain. So we have here for int I is equal to 1, I less than 10, I plus plus. Then we have here the body of loop, which is the system that out that print I. So I'll give you seconds, 10 seconds maybe, to answer the program. Okay, so if your answer is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is correct. So for example, your I here is less than 10, meaning for example, we have here I is equal 10. 10 less than 10 is false. So you don't have to print your I. Okay, so let's test your program. So we have here, so paste. Okay, so compile. Then next we have here another program for int I is equal to 1, I less than 10. Then we have here I plus equal to 2. Take note that if your I is less than 10, you have to print your I again. So I is equal to 1, then true, print 1. Then your increment here I plus equal to 2, meaning you have to increment by 2 or add 2 to your I, which is 3. So 3 again is less than 10, so we have 5. Then increment again, then 7 and 9. Okay, so test. Let's test our code. Then copy paste. File and run your program. So we have here 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Next. Next program, so we have for int I is equal to 1, I greater than 10, I plus plus, system that out that print I. So I will give you 10 seconds to answer the program. Okay, so what will be the output? So the output will be empty, none. Because I is equal to 1, I is greater than 10. So take note that I is equal to 1, which is it is not greater than 10. So the condition is false. So you have to jump now after the for loop. Okay, so next we have here another program. Sum is equal to 0, in sum is equal to 0. For I is for I is equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, then I plus plus. Okay, then system that out that print line I. Okay, then we have here simulation. We will simulate your program for int sum is equal to 0. So for int I is equal to 1. So I is equal to 1. So what will be your output? For int I is equal to 1, I less than 10. So your condition is true. Then you have to execute the system that out that print line, which is I equal to 1. Then your sum is equal to sum plus I, or simply sum plus equal to I. So 0 plus 1. Then you have to store it your value to sum, which is 1. Okay, then next, so we have here the end of loop. Go back to your increment decrement, which is the I plus plus. I now will become 2. Then go back to your condition. So check your condition. I is equal to less than equal to I is equal to 2 less than 10 is true. Then you have to print your I, which is below or beside. So take note that you will use the print line, so you have to display it below. Okay, then your sum 1 plus 2 equal now to 3. Okay, then next, increment again your I, so will become 3. Increment by 1, so it will become now 3. So check again your condition, I 3 less than 10. Okay, true. Then you have to display again your I, which is 3. Then next, the sum plus equal to I, so 3 plus 3 will become now 6. 6. Sum is equal to 6. Then next, increment your I, so it will become 4. So 4 less than 10, which 4 less than 10 is true. So you have to print again your I, which is 4. Then sum plus equal to I, then 6 plus 4 equal now to 10. Okay, then increment again your I plus plus, which is 5. Okay, I now 5 less than 10, true or false? True again, so print your I, which is 5. Then next, increment again, or 5 plus or 10 plus 5. Okay, sum plus equal to I, so it will become 15. then increment again your I. Okay, it will become 6. Then 6 less than 10, true, so you have to print your I. Okay, then add again. 15 plus 6 is equal to 21. Okay, then increment again your I. So it will become 7. So 7 less than 10 is true. So print your 7. Print your I. Then sum plus equal to I. 21 plus 7 is 28. Okay. Then increment your I. So it will become 8. Then 8 less than 10. So true. You have to print again your I, which is 8. Then next, 28 plus 8 is 36. Then increment your I. Okay, 9. So 9 less than 10 is true. So you have to print again the I. Okay, next, sum plus equal to I. So 36 plus 9, it will become 45. So sum now is equal to 45. Then next, increment your I, which is 10. Then I 10 less than 10, true or false. So false. So that is false. So you have to jump after the loop body. Okay, which is system.out.print. You have to print the total. Okay, then total, then we have here the concatenate the sum. What is the value of sum? Sum is equal now to 45. So let's test your program. So we have here. Okay, so copy paste, then run for compile. So we have errors. So take note of the double quote. Okay, then compile and run the program. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, then total 45. Next, so we have here another simple program. So we have to rename or change num is equal to 5. Then fact is let's change the fact to ft. Okay, let's simulate the program. So int num is equal to 5. So that is the first statement. Next statement is int ft is equal to 1. Then we have again for loop. So for int I is equal to 1. Okay, so I less than equal to num. I is 1 less than 5. So I or 1 less than equal to 5 is true. So you have to execute the body, which is ft times equal to I. So meaning ft is equal to ft times I. So 1 times 1 is equal to 1. So we will store it to 1. Then go back to your increment decrement. So increment your I to 2. Then I less than equal to num, which is 5. So true or false? True. So you have to multiply again. 1 times 2. Okay, so ft is equal to ft times I. 1 times 2 is equal to 2. Okay, next, So you have to increment again, go back to your for loop statement, execute the increment. So I is equal now to 3. Then I 3 less than equal to 5 is true again. Then we have here ft times I. So 2 times 3 is equal now to 6. Then next, go back to your increment. So I now will become condition 4 less than equal num, which is 5. 4 less than equal to 5 is true. Again, execute the body. So you have to multiply 6 times 4. It will become 24. Then next, end of loop. So you have to check again your I. So increment I is equal now to 5. So 5 less than equal to 5. So I less than equal to num. 5 less than equal to 5 is again true. So you have to execute the body. So you have to multiply 24 times 5 is 120. So end of loop again. Go back to your increment. So increment I to 1. So I now will become 6. So 6 less than equal to 5 is false. So what will be the next statement? So system.out print value. So what is the next one? ft is 120. So value 120. Okay, so you have to test. Let's test the program. Okay, copy paste. Then compile. So no syntax error. Then run. Okay, so the output is value 120. So for the next program, so we have here an int num1 is equal to 0, num2 is equal to 1. So we have again for loop. Okay, simple for loop. So we have two system.out.print, then two arithmetic statements. Okay, so first is to initialize num1 is equal to 0, num2 is equal to 1. Then we have here for loop. For int I is equal to 1. Then I, which is 1 less than equal to 5, true or false. So true, so you have to execute the body of your loop. So the body of your loop, so the first statement is system.out.print num1. Okay, so what is the value of your num1? So your num1 is 0 and system.out.print num2 is 1. Then next, num plus equal to num1 is equal to, or num1 plus equal to num2. So you have to add num1 and num2, store it to num1, which is 0 plus 1 equal to 1. Then next, num2 is equal to num2 plus num1. So you have to add again 1 plus 1, store it to num2 is equal to 2. Then end of loop. Then we have here go back to your increment. So I now will become 2. Then check again your condition. I2 less than equal to 5 is true. Okay, so if true again, so you have to print your num1 and num2, which is num1 which is 1 and num2 which is 2. Again, num1 plus equal to num2, so you have again to add num1 plus num2, 1 plus 2, then store it to num1 which is 3 now. Then again num2 plus num1, So 2 plus 3 is equal now to 5. Store it to num 2. Then end of loop again. Go back to your I++. I now will become 3. So 3 less than equal to 5. Okay, so it is true. So you have to display again your num1, which is 3, and num2 now is equal to 5. Okay, then add again num1 and num2, store it to num1. So 3 plus 5 is 8. Then num2 again plus 1, num1. So 5 plus 8, store it to num2, which is 13. Okay, then back again to your updation or the increment. So I now will become 4. Then check your condition. 4 less than equal to 5. Okay, so it is true. So you have to execute now again your print. So you will print your num1, which is 8, and num2, which is 13. Next statement, num1 plus equal to num2. Again, 8 plus 13 is equal to 21. So store to num1. Num2 plus equal to num1. Okay, so 13 plus 21 is 34. So increment your I. So I now will become 5. So 5 less than equal to 5 is true again. So you have again to print your num1 and num2, which is num1 equal now to 21, and your num2 is equal to 34. Okay, then next statement, num1, again add 21 plus 34 is 55. Then num2 plus equal to num1, 34 plus 55 is 89. Then end of loop. Then we have here again, check again your condition. So I++, so I now is equal to 6. So check your condition. 6 less than equal to 5, which is false. So you have to jump now. So that will be the end of your program. So let's start, let's run your program. Let's test. Okay, so copy paste only. Then compile. You have to click compile. So no syntax errors. Then we have here right click, then void. Okay, so the output is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Okay, to make it readable, so you have to let's see, let's add spaces. So let's add space for num1, then also space for num2. Okay, then compile, then again run your program. So the output is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, and 5, 13, 21, and 34.